for both teams. First for Paul the 6th, number 0, Trevor Keels, number 1, Jeremy Roach, number 11, Doug McDaniel, number 20, Tyler Coleman, and number 24, Joe Freeman. As for the other side, for the Dematha Stags, number 0, Earl Timberlake, number 1, Hunter Dickinson, number 3, Elijah Hawkins, number 15, Tyrell Ward, and number 24, Jordan Hawkins. We welcome you on this beautiful Tuesday night in Hyattsville, Maryland. Dan Nolan, Neil Murphy calling tonight's game. We thank you to all the viewers on Monumental Sports Network as well as Ball is Life for joining us for a top 10 matchup in the country. And don't forget, 2 of the best teams in the WCAC as well. Neil, you've seen this matchup a lot over the years. This is definitely shaping up to be one of the better ones.
Well, I coached in this league for 22 years, and when I stopped, I didn't miss the practices, didn't miss the summer league, but this is what I miss. You know, our league is the greatest. A game like this, the stands are packed. We got our student section there. We got the pep band. It doesn't get any better than this.
So today we see Paul the 6th in the dark gray jerseys, Dematha in the white jerseys. And as we look at this matchup, there are 4 players in particular, 2 on each side, that have a lot of buzz across the country. And let's start with the Paul the 6th players here, Neil. Trevor Keels and Jeremy Roach, freshly called and named to the McDonald's All-American game. Those 2 have been a great duo for this team all year long with Doug McDaniel at point guard.
Well, one of the things that helped Paul the 6th last year, unfortunately had some injuries, but it allowed a guy like Trevor Keels to develop into the player that he is. And Jeremy Roach, back full strength, he's really unguardable on the open floor.
And now the opening tip won by Hunter Dickinson, number 1, and then brought down by number 0, Timberlake, 2 of the better players for Dematha. Right now, Dickinson turns around, his first jumper no good, and Paul 6 will push the pace. That layup no good in transition from Keels, and this is the kind of pace we're expecting today, Neil, up and down. Big time block from Keels on that 3-point attempt.
Good hustle by PVI to get back and test the shot.
Up top, and it'll be Jeremy Roach who will reset the offense for Paul the 6th. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Paul the 6th, the perimeter team, again, like to fling the ball around, get everybody involved. 6 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to have to get something off in a hurry. Roach guarded by Dickinson. Nice little floater jumper, doesn't go, so scoring at a premium early on here.
That may be the only time we hear the shot clock go off all day.
3-point attempt, and that's your Mountain Dew kickstart. First 3 of the game from who? Hunter Dickinson, of all people.
Generally, you try to get your 7'2" guy a 3 early in the game.
You know, they say get the big man involved early. I'm not quite sure that's what they meant.
Well, this is what the game has become. All right, everybody can shoot it.
Joe Freeman unable to hit his 3-point attempt, and it's Dematha. Another 3-point attempt. This one is good. Back-to-back 3s for Dematha.
Good push by the Stags. Got the uncontested 3 in transition.
Tyrell Ward in the starting lineup and hitting a big-time 3. It's a 6-0 lead for the Stags.
PBI going to slow it down, run a little set here.
McDaniel trying to find something down low, finds Roach. Thinks about the shot, instead passes down low, and that's the kind of vision that gets you into the McDonald's All-American game, the finish from Keels.
Nice job by PVI, got the ball inside, easy shot.
Timberlake guarded by Keels. This is a fun matchup between 2 zeros. Another 3-point attempt. That one is no good for Timberlake. In transition, Keels fouled on the way up. Can't get it to fall. He'll go to the line for 2.
Tough shot attempted by Timberlake, and he made the mistake going after the rebound. He's backcourt protection on that play. PVI with the breakout. We'll go to the line.
Entering this game, these are 2 teams that are amongst the top 10 in the country, obviously, but they are also the top 2 teams in the WCAC. 4 teams ranked in the top 25 in the country on the Ball is Live Fab 50 right now. And for these 2 teams, Paul the 6th at 10, Dematha at 7. Well, the WCAC as well, Dematha 9-0, Paul the 6th 10-1. This is huge for playoff implications for the WCAC as well.
And at the same time, we also have Gonzaga playing St. John's right now. So pretty big night in the WCAC.
Absolutely. Hawkins looks down low to Dickinson. Goes up for the dunk, can't get it to fall, but the rebound is there. 5 quick points for Hunter Dickinson.
Nice job by Hunter. Didn't get the first one, stayed in there, cleaned up his own miss.
A clear size advantage down low for him. 3-point attempt is good for McDaniel, his first bucket.
Doug McDaniel, another guy that benefited last year by some of the injuries, was able to get some playing time and did really well.
McDaniel, stud point guard on this team, the third piece of a three-headed monster. For Paul VI, that's a nice steal. McDaniel gets it done on the defensive end as well. Guarded tightly, he'll get it out to Roach. Deep three-pointer, that one goes. Jeremy Roach getting on the scoreboard with a deep three.
His teammate Trevor Keels is known for threes like that. Jeremy says, I can shoot it too.
We've seen quite a few of those threes from Keels in this building at National Hoop Fest a couple of months ago.
Wow.
Big time slam from Dickinson. 7 points for the senior.
Hunter Dickinson picking up where he left off at the Hall of Fame. Had a great effort up there.
And that Hoop Hall Classic had 28 points against arguably the best player in the class of 2020 in Evan Mobley. And Dematha was able to secure the victory in that game as well. Drive inside, and this time it's a block from Dickinson, and he's talking some smack.
Big start for Hunter. Appeared to be beat off the dribble, but then sent the shot into the band.
You can't ask for a better start from the Michigan commit and Hunter Dickinson. Getting it done on both ends of the floor so far. Roach, another three-pointer from the right wing. This time it doesn't go, falls short. Keels with the rebound. The free throw jumper rattles in and out. That rebound collected from Timberlake. The body control not to travel there.
How about that? Great rebound, kept his balance.
And it results in another three, the second of the game for Ward. 13-9, Dematha on top. 5 threes already in this ball game. Speaking of threes, Roach with the ball in his hands right now. He's made 10 of his last 13 three-pointers. That jump shot starting to come along after recovering from the ACL injury last season. And it looks like they're going to say Roach stepped out of bounds. Dematha basketball.
He's so creative with the ball. He reminds you of like a Kyrie Irving, can always get there. If the jump shot becomes consistent, he's really unguardable.
Jeremy Roach going to the right place. If he wants a Kyrie Irving comparison, he'll be going to Duke University next year.
They've had a few guards down there.
They've had a few guards. And again, so many great players have come from both these institutions over the year, and over the years, I should say. This season is no different. Earl Timberlake going to Miami, Hunter Dickinson to Michigan. Keels has offers from Duke, Florida, Michigan, UVA, and of course, Roach heading down to Durham, North Carolina next year to play for the Blue Devils. Timberlake, meanwhile, posting up Roach, opts to pass. Ward again from distance, this time goes long and off the backboard.
Good contest by PVI. Had Tyrell rush the shot.
Keels
a little long.
Open from the left wing. He gets it. 6 points for Keels in the first.
I know Coach Jones is hoping he doesn't get on a hot roll here.
13-12 game. Drive inside. Fake out, and the basket is there. Nice move from Elijah Hawkins.
Dematha's been able to knock down some threes. They kept the help away, got all the way to the rim.
And the starting lineup has changed a little bit over the last 5 or 6 games. Donovan Miller now coming off the bench, and it seems like they've had some good luck so far. 3-point attempt is good for McDaniel. It is a 3-point party here in the first quarter.
I think the rims might be a little bit big. Both teams lighting it up.
That's now 7 3-pointers already between these two teams. Dematha getting close to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ward has done nice so far. Nearly loses the ball on the ground. Keels will collect it. Now Roach in transition. Euro step, tries to flip it under. Timberlake with the block. And now it's the Stags in transition. Behind the pack pass. Timberlake gets it to Ward. Up top, 3-pointers up and no good. The tip dunk! Oh my!
Will Reynolds from the corner. The one-handed cuff dunk. I think the crowd likes it.
A sellout crowd in Hyattsville, Maryland, and how could they not get excited about that one?
If they leave right now, they still got their money's worth.
3-pointer is no good, and they're going to say it's going to be Dematha basketball. I'll tell you what, partner, the environment here has certainly lived up to the hype of this game. And so is the play on the court.
And potentially they could end up playing 3 more times after this. Another league game, possibly the playoffs, and ended up at the Alhambra tournament up in Cumberland at the end of the year.
Absolutely. And again, these two teams not only vying for positioning in the WCAC postseason, but also in national tournaments as well. Currently at 7 and 10 respectively for Dematha and Paul VI. Lost the handle, and it'll be Panthers basketball. McDaniel, hot shooting start to start.
Good
here.
post up by Timberlake, but tried to do too much with it. Got to catch it deeper and then just finish.
Nearly goes backcourt, does McDaniel. 3-point attempt. That one is no good for McDaniel. So in transition, trying to go up for the layup was Miller, unable to secure that one. Will Page drives inside. Turnaround layup is no good. Another block. Dematha's interior defense has been really good early on.
Great job on the defense. He got the block, but we didn't secure Dematha didn't secure the ball.
McDaniel, this time he'll drive inside. Another block. This time it's from Paul Smith, number 11.
Paul Smith, who comes in to spell Hunter Dickinson, trying to tell Coach Jones he needs more time.
Hawkins, some fancy moves. Ends up being tipped away by McDaniel. Remain Dematha basketball. So 17.9 seconds remaining in a very fun first quarter. Stags on top of the Panthers, 17-15. Again, we thank you for watching the High School Basketball Showcase powered by WGL on Monumental Sports Network and on Ball is Life today. And Ball is certainly life for both these teams. They're showing how good they are in a highly touted matchup.
Shot clock is off. Dematha will take the last one, we hope.
6 seconds remaining. Timberlake to Dickinson, fouled on the way up.
Good penetration by Earl. When the help came over, dropped it off to the big guy. He'll go to line for 2.7 seconds to go.
So what is it about Dickinson that's changed over the last month? Obviously a highly respected prospect, was recruited by a number of blue blood programs, but it really feels like he's taken it to another level over the last several weeks.
I think sometimes with big guys it takes longer to develop. You know, certainly Hunter has the whole package. But if you watched him in the game up at the Hall of Fame, he played with a sense of purpose and then realizing what he's capable of. You know, hopefully the sky's the limit for him both this year and at college up in Michigan.
Seconds ticking down, going to have to get something up, and that's after the buzzer won't count. And that'll do it after one quarter. It's 18-15. Dematha on top of Paul VI on the Monumental Sports Network High School Basketball Showcase powered by WGL. And instead of going to commercial breaks tonight, we felt that it was best to honor the legacy of a man that was so important not only in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, but nationwide for his contributions to basketball. And that's Morgan Wooten. And you know, Neil, you have known Morgan. You knew him for a long time over the span of many decades. And I would just love to hear your initial thoughts on the passing of what truly was a legendary life for Morgan Wooten.
Well, great event here tonight, but it pales in comparison to what went on the last 3 days. Morgan, his final wishes were that the viewing would be here, that the funeral mass would be here. Father Damien said the prayer before. He gave a great homily. One of his former player, James Brown, he gave the eulogy at the end. And it was a sad event. There were a lot of tears, but there were also a lot of smiles and laughter because the man touched so many lives. And everybody I talked to had their own personal story. I got one about Glenn Ferrello, the coach I maybe sneak in later, but about how Morgan went out of his way to make them feel important. It might have been a 2-minute conversation, but for some of these guys here, it was 30, 40 years ago how he took the time to do something for them.
Neil and I will have a longer conversation about the legacy of Morgan Wooten on and off the basketball court at halftime. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, we got a heck of a basketball game on our hands between Paul VI and Dematha, and it'll be Jeremy Roach bringing the basketball up, down by 3 as we begin the second quarter. Keels will get it to Roach, drives inside, short floater, falls short.
Good shot by Roach, good contest by Dematha.
And there's a whistle, not sure what the call is here. And it looks like it's going to be a call down low off ball on JoJo Freeman, number 24 for Paul VI. Not a lot of fouls, but a whole lot of pace in the first quarter. 1 foul apiece for each of these teams in the first half so far. Roberson dishes it. That three falls short. Again, a three-point barrage in that first quarter. Both teams shooting the ball extremely well. Big reason why Paul VI is still in this game. Some fancy dribbling from Keels. The shot does not go. Euro step, Neal's favorite move, doesn't work.
Will Reynolds trying to do a little bit too much there. Last shot he took wasn't too bad. That one was a tough one.
Errant pass from McDaniel in transition for Dematha! Another dunk for Will Reynolds. A tip dunk first and then a breakaway dunk second.
It was a great move, tough shot. I think Coach Jones was a little upset that Will was celebrating as Paul VI was running the ball down the floor.
A missed shot on the other end for Paul VI. Dematha a chance to perhaps get their biggest lead of the ball game. Dickinson pass to the opposite corner. Another cross-court pass. Miller now collects it, gets it over. That three rims in and out, and somehow Will Reynolds was able to get that one to fall. And are you kidding me with this, Neal? A tip dunk, a breakaway dunk, and a three that hits every part of the hoop on the way down. All of a sudden, it's an 8-point lead.
Because we hit the threes early, everybody thinks, well, it must be three night. You know, we'll just tee it up and we'll go. Will Reynolds, couple tough possessions, not afraid to tee it up there, banked it in. We're not sure if he called that one.
So a 23-15 lead, and you have to look at this game so far, Neal, and say that Dematha has really outplayed Paul VI. If it weren't for the hot shooting early in that quarter, in the first quarter, I should say, Dematha could be up even more than this. Their interior defense has really dominated so far. Both
teams lighting it up. Certainly you look at the size difference. If I'm Coach Jones, I'm thinking, this is great, we're knocking down the threes. I want to get the ball inside to my 7-footer. I'm going to get the ball inside to Timberlake, my 6'5", 6'6" guy who always seems to have a mismatch.
And each of those players at their respective positions definitely have mismatches due to their size. Obviously, when you're over 7 feet, like Hunter Dickinson, you generally will have one at the high school level. That three-pointer is no good for Keels. Slow start on offense for Keels so far. Did have a three in that first quarter. That's a steal there from Keels this time. Roach right into the body of Miller. Goes up for the wild layup attempt. No foul called, a lot of contact.
A little bit of contact there. And generally when the second guy
That's an over and back violation. It's a miscommunication there. It looked like it was Jarrell Roberson passing to Donovan Miller, number 2.
A little bit tentative, not used to having the ball on the open floor. Made the mistakes the young guys make. And as I look at Dematha, how they've improved, certainly Hunter, Dickinson, Earl, Timberlake, they're consistent. You know what to get for them. But it's the other guys that have started to step up over the last half a dozen games or so.
So far, Will Reynolds with 7, Tyrell Ward with 6. Dickinson with 8. No bucket yet for Timberlake. Keels double teamed at the free throw line. He'll have to pass. 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Keels drives inside right at Dickinson. Can't get that one to fall. Collected by Paul VI. This time it's Roach driving inside. How about that move?
Tough move. Took it all the way to the rim. Jarrell Roberson came over to attempt the block shot. He just kind of clutched it, laid it in. That's like I used to do back in the day.
Absolutely. I believe it. I believe it. No, it's a steal from McDaniel. That's a quick 4-0 run for Paul VI.
Doug McDaniel, probably the best in the league, doing that. He's always pesking the full court, gets steals. As soon as you relax, it's a steal and a layup.
Given how much he played last season, you wouldn't expect that he was still only a sophomore in high school. A great defensive player from the moment he stepped on the court for the Panthers. As a foul on the way up, Dickinson will go back to the free throw line. So Dickinson, after a long stretch of trying to narrow down the schools he wanted to pick, the first free throw goes for him. Finally came to the conclusion that Michigan was right for him. He'll join a variety of players that we recognize in the WCAC, including Gonzaga's top player. Second free throw, no good.
Terrence Williams and him are teammates on Team Takeover.
Team Takeover also in attendance at tonight's game. Freeman, nice move inside. And seems like the door's starting to open a little bit for scoring in the paint.
Good pump fake up by his own man. Dematha didn't do a great job on the help.
24-21, another steal. Paul VI down by as many as 8. Could tie the game there. That three-pointer is no good. Rebound brought down by Timberlake.
Paul VI, so good with their hands.
Quick pass, but even quicker hands from Roach there. Nice response on the defensive end.
They never stop moving. They're aggressive with the ball. Even when they get the ball inside Hunter Dickinson, a second player is going to come and dig. If Hunter's not careful with the ball, it's going to be a turnover.
It's been a pretty incredible January for both these teams in terms of the teams that they've had to face so far. If you look at Dematha's schedule, in January alone, they've played Mater Dei, St. John's, Gonzaga, Simeon, and Rancho Christian. They won all of those matchups. They haven't lost in over a month. And it's a foul and a jump shot that Timberlake will now go to the free throw line.
I mean, due to the unfortunate circumstance of Coach Wooten passing away, it changed. But at one point, they were going to have 11 games in 19 days. That's an NBA schedule. And there was a flight in there going up to the Hall of Fame. So.
Absolutely. And the Hoop Hall Classic, also home to Paul VI. They've had their own gauntlet of a month here, playing Wasatch Academy, Gonzaga, Oak Hill, Sierra Canyon, St. John's, and then now Dematha. First free throw is no good for Timberlake. They were able to get a few wins in there. They fell to both Wasatch Academy and Oak Hill. Oak Hill looks very, very good this season.
As they always are. Well, they played before the Hall of Fame. They played in an 8-team tournament out in Missouri. They lost to Oak Hill, flew the next day to the Hall of Fame, and then played their game against Sierra Canyon.
And it was a nice performance from Paul VI in that game as well. Sierra Canyon obviously is the big show nationwide due to a number of players that are on their roster this year, including the sons of one LeBron James and another Dwayne Wade.
Well, LeBron was playing in Boston, so he was at the game. And that's a little bit different.
Made the trip before he played the Celtics. That three-pointer is no good for Freeman. But it was Jeremy Roach who put on the performance in that Hoop Hall Classic game. Some fancy dribbling. Tip attempt is no good. Rebound finally falls in the hands of McDaniel. He'll push it.
Good effort by Ward. Wasn't able to knock it down. We got a couple tips at it.
Roach fouled. They're going to say that was on the floor. So
not a lot of fouls so far, right? 2 and 3 on the board with all the up and down action.
Keels. Guarded tightly by Timberlake. He'll go all the way. Blocked once again. Paul Smith has at least 3 or 4 blocks in this game already. Hawkins, little push-off floater, falls short. Rebound is there, and it looks like he's fouled. Are they going to call it on the floor? So it'll be Dematha basketball with a fresh shot clock.
Tough shot by Jordan Hawkins. A little bit of contact. Didn't get the call. Tyrell Ward with the rebound. Good effort by him. Staggs ball on the baseline.
Freeman will head to the bench, and coming in for him will be Christian May, number 5. Drive inside, the layup doesn't fall. Second attempt also isn't there. That rebound collected by number 33, Jack Jensen, the transfer from WT Woodson. In transition, it's McDaniel.
For a young guy, he has quite an array of shots around the basket. You know, beside the traditional layup, the off the wrong foot, the flip, the teardrop, whatever. Very mature game.
Timberlake tries to spin, and instead it's a travel. Paul VI basketball down 3, 26-23. A little under 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
I think Earl may be a little frustrated there, trying to do too much. Paul VI, excellent defensively. You can't ram it down their throat.
Doug McDaniel, you mentioned his wide variety of offensive skills. 10 points in this game already. Able to get across half court to avoid the violation. Roach, guarded by Hawkins, shakes him. Little floater. That one doesn't go. Dickinson will get the rebound. Hawkins, three-point attempt.
Whoa.
Little long. We've seen a number of good shooting performances from him so far in this building, though.
Well, it's a comfort level. That one was a little rushed.
Ward, back to Hawkins.
Nice job by Ward. Kept the ball, drew the defense, flipped it back to Hawkins for the dunk.
Nearly a turnover from Paul VI, but tipped out of bounds by Elijah Hawkins.
It's one of those things where if Tyrell Ward hangs on to the ball too long, the defense can get back and contest Jordan Hawkins.
Roach finds Keels, step back jumper, no good, and Keels continues to struggle on the offensive end in this quarter. Timberlake backing down. Dickinson, can he make it two? Yes, he can. 2 3-pointers for Dickinson, and he's liking it.
Just the way Coach Jones drew it up.
McDaniel passes down low. That's going to kick basketball.
Good job by Timberlake that time. He's been a little too aggressive the last couple of possessions. When the help came, he kicked it out to the open shooter.
Timeout called, 31-23 lead for Dematha. And we once again thank everyone that's watching on Monumental Sports Network and Ball is Life. Remember that you can subscribe now to Monumental Sports Network and download the iOS or Android mobile apps. And also, if you want to watch some of the best high school in the DMV area, or perhaps even beyond that, as we head into tournament season over the next couple of weeks, you can subscribe at getmonumentalhs.com. That's getmonumentalhs.com. And once again, the basketball showcase, the high school basketball showcase, is powered by WGL. Bring in the energy. We've seen energy from the opening tip in this building in Hyattsville, Maryland, for a special night of high school hoops.
One of the nice things about the subscription is once you have it, it's there. Like today, hadn't seen Paul VI play in a while. I went back to when they played Gonzaga third place, 3 weeks ago.
That's
whatever.
right.
I was able to review. I do my homework.
There you go.
I never did in high school, but I do it now.
31-23.
Paul VI does a great job with high ball screens, forcing Hunter to get away from the rim.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Elbow jump shot is good for Jensen, his first bucket.
Only 2 points, but that's going to keep Hunter Dickinson honest. He's not going to be able to help as much.
So lead is now 6 points for the Stags. While it's been back and forth, they have led for the majority of this game. Fouled as he went up was Hawkins.
Hunter has to be very aware every time he touches it down low. There's a second guy coming, so he's got to be composed and find out where the open guy is.
Jordan Hawkins Jr., he's got offers from Marquette, Seton Hall, Xavier, among other colleges. And we've seen many games this season where Hawkins has come off the bench and provided this unbelievable offensive spark, and clearly it made enough of an impression to where he's now in the starting lineup, and he's continued to put on some really nice offensive efforts. Second one is good.
He's a junior, but in terms of WCSC basketball, he's a freshman. So just, Gaithersburg's a great school and they have a lot of good basketball, but I don't think it was at this level. And once you lose that comfort zone, it's hard.
Roach, nice move into the paint, ends up in the hands of McDaniel. He hits his third three of the ball game. That's 13 now in this first half for him overall. Nice move inside. Wow. Elijah Hawkins with a nice finish.
Tough shot. Through traffic.
Mid-range jumper, that one's a tough one from Christian May. Back-to-back-to-back baskets between these two teams. 36 seconds remaining in this first half. 3-point attempts no good. Roach will bring the ball up, and it looks like there's about 3 seconds difference between game clock and shot clock that may hold until near the end of the shot clock for this possession.
No surprise, Paul VI will spread the floor, look to get some penetration.
Shot clock down to 7, and looks like they'll get started. Roach, left-handed floater off the backboard. That's no good. 2 seconds, 1 second. They're going to have to get a shot up. They do. Off the backboard, no good. A fun half of basketball between two of the top 10 teams in the country. However, it's the Stags on top of the Panthers, 35-30. Remember, we will be back in just a minute for a conversation about the legend Morgan Wooten. For now, we want to remind you that WGL is our title sponsor for the High School Basketball Showcase. WGL, the future of energy, providing you with energy answers. We'll be back in just a minute on Monumental Sports Network.
Stream the best high school basketball in the country on Monumental Sports Network.
The Junior Wizards program will be entering its third season this fall. On top of the summer camps that we see here, we also have clinics that we hold throughout the year. We have coaches education, and we're really looking to hit all aspects of basketball throughout the DMV.
And welcome back to Dematha Catholic High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. Dan Nolan, Neil Murphy, and Neil, this is a wonderful occasion for me to be standing next to you right now and having a conversation about a legend, a true legend in Morgan Wooten. Obviously over 1,200 wins over the course of his life, 5 national championships, but we thought this would be a wonderful opportunity to hear some real stories about Morgan Wooten. And I think the first one I really want to hear about is his relationship with Lito's Pizza, because I feel like everyone's got a story about him writing X's and O's on those napkins at Lito's.
The Basketball Hall of Fame should have a number of Lito's placemats up there. And I actually brought with me, anybody connected with the program knows, a blue flare.
Yeah.
After every game in the area, obviously we're out of town, we can't do it, we went to Lito's. If we played at Maria Goretti up in Hagerstown, we still went to Lito's. We'd call ahead, hey, we're coming. We'd call the order in, but it had to be there. And the first order was business. So we take a placemat, we turn it over, we write down our thoughts about the game, what went on, who's got to play more, who's got to play less. We talk about our next opponent. We'd outline our next practice, and then we could sit down and relax. But the Dematha basketball program was built on a Lito's placemat.
It's amazing to hear the stories about Morgan and his impact on basketball when you think about a guy like John Wooden, who's considered one of the greatest coaches of all time. Until he got involved with McDonald's All-American game, it wasn't a nationwide thing. It was only in the D.C. area. And who else but Morgan Wooten is the one that got him involved? Took a 5-minute phone call.
Right. John Wooden wanted no part of any All-Star game. And they said, well, if Morgan's involved, I'm in. And we know what that has grown to be.
And for Morgan Wooten, it wasn't just about basketball. It was about creating the men of tomorrow through the basketball program, as well as the men and women that were able to go through his classroom and to cross his path. For you, having known him for so long, what are some of your favorite stories about Morgan Wooten?
Well, actually, I heard a lot of stories the last couple of days, and they're all basically the same. It was about how Morgan took the time to make them feel, whoever the story, telling the story, to make them feel important. Just to take 2 minutes and ask how they're doing. And whether it be in the hallway, after practice, in the classroom, his office, telephone, whatever. And everybody, all the stories were the same. He was unbelievable. Yeah, we'd have 5 preseason meetings. The first one he'd talk about is the personal touch. And he says, as a coach or a teacher, the 2-minute conversation you have with someone that you don't remember, they will never forget. You know, and that's where now it's our job for that legacy to live on. He was always so positive. He was always there for you. Glenn Ferrillo's got a great story. I talked to Glenn early, and I've known Glenn for 25 years or so. He was assistant coach at Roosevelt in the mid-'90s, took over around 98. We always scrimmaged Roosevelt on the Friday after Thanksgiving. So Mark Hurt leaves. Glenn goes to be the assistant to the head coach. His top 7 guys have left. So he's got a depleted squad. We go over and scrimmage. So he goes, Morgan, can you give me any advice for a first-year coach? Something like that. So they talk for about 10 minutes. And they're talking. The horn goes off. Referee's ready to start the scrimmage. Morgan says, excuse me, leans over to talk to the scorer, and he goes, put 10 more minutes on the clock. Because he had more to tell him. And Glenn went on and on about what a great guy. He even said when he was thinking about going from Roosevelt to Paul VI, Morgan Wooten called over to Paul VI on Glenn's behalf. And Morgan didn't know Glenn anything. You know, he wasn't a Dematha student. He didn't coach for him or anything like that, but he was that type of guy.
Decades and decades of Dematha students obviously feeling and celebrating the life of a man that had such a strong impact on this area, whether it was Adrian Dantley arriving 3.5 hours before the funeral, whether it's a guy like James Brown to come back, the class of 1969, to deliver a eulogy at yesterday's beautiful service right here in this gymnasium. The life and the impact of Morgan Wooten still felt even after his passing, and is just a beautiful legacy that hopefully many can carry on here.
Well, and I don't know if it's done on the back of Lito's placemat, but Morgan outlined the 3 days. He had written down his wishes. He wanted everything here at Dematha, the viewing to be at Dematha, how things were going to be done, the mass here, Father Damien giving the homily, James Brown giving the eulogy. And he knew that his guys, his players, and it seemed like they were all here, that they were hurting. So he wanted one last team meeting for us. And the energy in here was phenomenal. Yeah, there were some tears. At the end of the mass, they had everybody who was a player for Morgan and had coached with Morgan to line up as an honor guard as the family was escorted out. There was not a dry eye in the house. It was amazing.
Morgan Wooten, legacy living on forever, as we've mentioned already. Neil, thank you for sharing some of your stories. We mentioned Lido Pizza Law. If you need to grab a snack, now would be the time, because we've got a great second half of basketball action coming up after this. It's Dematha and Paul VI, the Stags leading 35-30 on the WGL High School Basketball Showcase on Monumental Sports Network and Ball is Life. We'll be back in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
Today we're shooting our second annual Wizards Dog Calendar benefiting the Humane Rescue Alliance.
Jake is distracted.
Oh, that's cute. This partnership is so incredible. We couldn't do the important work at the Humane Rescue Alliance without partners like the Wizards. It's really a great time to see some of these really small dogs with these really tall players.
She only has 3 legs.
She's a cutie.
Partnership is really good, you know, especially this year I got my own dog. Definitely a Shifu, and so it's just seeing the poodle, and I've had him for 6 months now. He's 8 months.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The Wizards Dog Calendar will be on sale at WashingtonWizards.com and at the team store at Capital One Arena.
Welcome back to Dematha Catholic High School. The fans getting excited for second half action. Again, we Welcome you, Dan Nolan, Neil Murphy on the Monumental Sports Network High School Basketball Showcase, powered by WGL, streaming live on various platforms today, including Ball is Life. A big-time first half from a couple performers. Hunter Dickinson with 12 points, a couple three-pointers. The offensive weapon for Paul VI so far, Doug McDaniel with 13 points. We saw a lot of three-pointers, some good defense. What stuck out to you from that first half, Neil?
Doug McDaniel, phenomenal, both on the defensive end with his quick hands. He's got a steal there.
Well,
easy layup for Paul VI.
How about that? Jeremy Roach getting this half started with a steal and a layup. Only 5 points for him in the first half. Makes that 7 with that layup. Alley-oop up top. That one unable to be brought down. This time a foul on the way up. They'll say it's 2 shots for Hawkins.
Good back screen there. They tried the alley-oop to Jordan Hawkins. He wasn't able to really control the ball, but stayed with it, got the rebound. He'll go to the line.
A lot of discussion down low as to, I believe, if it's a shooting foul or a foul on the floor. They are going to say it was a shooting foul, though. Again, 10 three-pointers in that first half between Dematha and Paul VI. A lot of them coming in the first quarter alone.
Yeah, that's both good news and bad news. Sometimes you get the threes early, you don't do a great job running your half-court offense.
And we'll see how they do in this second half. Second free throw is good for Hawkins, hits them both. McDaniel able to get it across half court, passes over to Roach. Roach will set the half court offense. Freeman had to go to the bench after a few fouls near the end of that first half, number 24 in gray. He's back out there now. Keels with 10 seconds on the shot clock, drives inside right at Dickinson, off the glass and good. We didn't see a lot of that in the first half. That one does go.
Great move by Keels, got Hunter on his hip, used his upper body strength to hold him off, kissed it off the glass.
So 37-34, Stags on top. Deep three-pointer from the left wing is no good. Keels pushing it up to McDaniel. Wild cross-court pass to Freeman. He'll drive inside, and he will opt to just pass it out and have Roach reset. McDaniel given all kinds of space there. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Once again, Roach posting up inside, thinks about going for the layup. Wonder if he should have just gone up instead of hesitating there. Nonetheless, it's a turnover to Dematha ball. Three-pointer from the corner. Count it. First three-pointer of the day for Hawkins.
A little more composed on that one, took his time, got his feet under him.
Foul and the bucket for Jeremy Roach.
Tough move on the break for Jeremy. Drew the contact with his body, pulled it back, laid it in.
Roach averaging a little over 19 points per game, a little over 6 rebounds per game, and close to 2 steals per game. Seen all kinds of effort on display, even just in a little less than 2 minutes of this second half. The student section for Dematha certainly out in full force today. A brief stop here. Clarifying that it was 1 free throw after the made bucket from Roach. Free throw is no good. Score 1 for the student section, Neil.
They've been working on their foul line defense recently. Coach Jones had them out here.
The importance is practice. You got to practice how you play. Corner three-pointer, no good.
Good look by Hunter. Just couldn't knock it down.
Freeman in transition. Oh. Another block. This time it's Timberlake. And there's a whistle. I'm curious.
Oh. Number 23, Luke Triggs, I think, got hit. Some blood, so I think on the rebound, they blew the whistle, stopped, and get him off the floor. Wendy, Dematha's trainers on top of it.
So he'll have to take a break on the bench. Will Luke Triggs. He's going to go back to the locker room, and looks like to get tended to. And so Back on the floor is number 20, Tyler Coleman. And they're going to take a brief moment to huddle up. And it looks like there was some confusion from Mike Jones there, wondering what the reason for staying here was. A reminder, this is the WGL High School Basketball Showcase on Monumental Sports Network. You can subscribe now at getmonumentalhs.com. Remember, it actually is not just high school basketball. Basketball of all levels available on this platform. The best high school action in the DMV area, the Washington Mystics of the WNBA, the Capital City Go-Go of the NBA G League, and then replays within 36 hours of the end of every Washington Wizards basketball game. Ball is life, wouldn't you say?
All the time. Actually, I believe a couple hundred years ago I had a T-shirt that said that.
You know, you've aged mightily well for someone that's a couple hundred years old.
I carry it well. The good posture fools a lot of people. I think we have a situation now with maybe some blood on the floor, referees in front of the pole of 6. And there are those procedures that the trainers know how to do, usually have a solution.
Now, as a coach, how did you use these opportunities? It's not just talking with the team, obviously, but you have to keep them focused, I would imagine, as well.
Well, you like to bring them over and talk about what's going on. You want to maybe slow their breathing down a little bit, go over. You don't want to throw 40 things at them, but just keep their mind on the game, as you say.
So the brief delay is over. A little under 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. It's the Stags on top of the Panthers, 40-36. Ball being brought up by Elijah Hawkins, who had a couple nice plays in that first half. Dickinson guarded, cross-court pass to the right wing, and that is not the guy you want to see get hot if you're Glenn Ferrello and this Paul VI Panthers team. 2 threes in this quarter for him.
Paul VI doubling on the post. Coach Jones and Dematha was using that against him. They get it to the big guy. Like a quarterback with a lot of time in the pocket, he's able to find the open shooter and knock it down.
Freeman unable to follow up with a three-point make of his own. He'll check out of the game. Coming into the game is number 10, Will Page. And you mentioned that he's a junior, but a freshman in WCAC play, with this being his first year. But we have really seen some nice shooting outings from Jordan Hawkins, no matter who the opponent is.
Oh, he's a great shooter. But what happens is if you're not used to the situation, you get sped up. Right, and just releasing the ball a little bit quicker, it flattens out, it goes long.
Travel called there on Earl Timberlake. 43-36, I should say, lead. Panthers have clawed back a few times, unable to tie the ball game up, though. Roach unable to get that jump shot to fall. Bringing it down will be Ward. Nearly loses the handle, collects it, gets it to Dickinson. Ball poke out of his hands. Now to be Paul VI that will push the pace. Nice feed down low. Timberlake perhaps scaring the Paul VI players down low with his size, and that's the kind of defensive play you get when you have a guard that's 6'5". Timberlake now with the three-point shot off the backboard. Can't get it to fall.
If I'm Timberlake at this point, I think I'm trying to get an easy one inside. A little post up, little baby jumper. See the ball go through the hoop first.
Head coach Mike Jones telling his team slowed down a little bit after the last couple of possessions. And they're going to say it's a push on McDaniel against Ward. So foul trouble wasn't as big of an issue in the first quarter, but the second quarter and a little bit of the beginning of this quarter as well. A few more fouls for Paul VI.
Well, they're so aggressive. Sometimes it may just come down to what kind of mood the referee is in, because there's contact in everything. This is essentially a college game.
Hawkins, feet close to the half-court line. Miller, ball flies into the air, able to gather it. 8 seconds on the shot clock, ball on the ground. McDaniel chasing after the basketball, and they're going to call an over the back foul, and that is not the foul you want if you're McDaniel. That's back-to-back fouls.
Good hustle by both teams. I wonder if Ferrello thinks as Jordan Hawkins dove on the ball, maybe should have been a backcourt call as he brought the ball into the backcourt. A lot of conferences by the referees.
You respect that they want to get it right. And Glenn Farello is now beyond himself. And I'm not sure if he's arguing about what you were saying before, Neil, about it potentially being a backcourt violation.
I think he's worried about the shot clock now.
And resetting to 30. And so more discussion about presumably the shot clock in this case.
If Paul VI gained possession, then Dematha got it back, right?
And the shot clock would be reset.
No, we're going to go 20, I think. Saying that it was a foul. Dematha never lost possession, but the reset to 20 with the new rules.
Which I think is the right call in this situation.
I don't think Coach Jones is upset about anything at this point. Whatever you guys decide is good. Look for a little high-low here by Dematha.
Wild pass, and it will be Panthers basketball. Sold-out crowd here in Hyattsville, Maryland, to see two of the top teams in the DMV area as well as the country go head-to-head. Entering today's game, Paul VI, number 7 on Ball is Life's Fab 50. Nice backdoor cut, and it's a charge called. Donovan Miller, nice play on defense to take the charge from Jeremy Roach.
Everybody has a strength when they play the game. Some guys are shooters, some guys are rebounders. Donovan Miller might be one of the best guys we've ever had wear the Dematha uniform, taking the charge.
So now things start to get a little bit interesting here, Neil, because that's 4 personal fouls now in this quarter. McDaniel in transition. He'll finish with the easy layup. His first bucket of the second half.
Doug McDaniel giving Elijah Hawkins fits. Great pressure on the ball, forcing him way out. He can't get around him.
And another strong defensive play. McDaniel ends up with another steal. He's on the ground, and they're going to call it a jump ball. Every member of the Paul VI bench is on their feet. And this is the kind of play you get from McDaniel. He is always going to be aggressive on that defensive end of the floor.
You would think with a couple of foul calls he might say, well, I'm going to back off a little bit. But he's going right at Hawkins. And again, this is what league play is all about. What can my team do to your team?
And, you know, just like that, it started to feel like Dematha had a ton of momentum. They're only up 5, and it's Panthers basketball. And a lot of time still remaining in this second half. Another backdoor cut, another basket for Paul VI. The lead is now down to 3. Nice finish from Will Page.
Will Page, tough finish inside. Again, Paul VI so good at drawing the contact, backing off, kissing it off the board.
Will Page, one of the stronger players on Paul VI, despite the fact that he might be a little shorter than some of his teammates. Nice fight down low. Timberlake able to finish there. That's his first field goal of the game.
That was by Earl basically saying, I'm a senior, get out of my way. He kind of bullied his way to the basket. Paul VI scores again.
Seeing some of the best players from both teams go back and forth, getting buckets. And I think both fan bases are starting to get a little more excited here. And that one's going off Dematha. It will be Paul VI basketball. Some life from the Panther faithful that have made the trip to Hyattsville.
Well, the defense by Paul VI in scores was phenomenal. Both the pressure on the ball and the pressure on the wing to make the pass. Dematha really has had a chance to get into their half-court offense.
45-42, and once again, Paul VI in a position to potentially tie this game. We've seen this about 6 or 7 times already. That ball off the feet of Timberlake, able to be collected. Timberlake, Euro step, pass inside, layup is good, and Neil, there's another example. Reynolds able to get inside. He's up to 9 for the game. Roach loses the handle. Another opportunity on the break.
Wow.
No foul called. Rebound brought down by both players. They're going to call it a jump ball. I see Keels is there. I couldn't quite make out if it was Timberlake who was coming down with him.
Yes, that was Timberlake and Keels. It was one of those things neither one wanted to give up. They both took the ball out of bounds. They're good with each other.
And you see the respect. And both of them, they really are similar in terms of playing styles. You see both with great size and also able to shoot from distance a mismatch at their positions.
Again, the defense is phenomenal.
So they'll reset. 18 seconds on the shot clock, a 5-point lead. Dickinson down low. 13 seconds on the shot clock. He'll pass outside. That's going to be an offensive foul. Charge taken from Jack Jensen. And Dickinson not happy about that as he looks to the heavens for answers. And they're going to call it a flagrant.
Wow.
So a flagrant foul on that one. Neil, your thoughts?
Well, Hunter was trying to make the right play. The double team wasn't coming hard, so he took a dribble to see. I think what we're looking at maybe came as he got rid of the ball and knocked him out.
Jensen able to take advantage, hitting his first free throw attempt.
The few possessions before that, Paul VI was coming hard at him, definite double team. That time the guy was playing a little cat and mouse. I'm coming, I'm not coming.
And it's one of the factors that you're always going to have to live with as a big man is you're just bigger. So even the movements that don't seem as big of a deal for you can really impact the smaller players.
Well, you can ask them, would you rather be the 6'5" guy guarding you? But this is part of the growth. You see something different, you adjust. Whatever happened there, I'm sure Coach Jones will go over a practice, say, hey, this is what they did. This is what you may want to think about doing next time.
So Jensen able to hit 1 of 2, and now it is Paul VI basketball, down 4. McDaniel guarded by Timberlake. Now it's Keels driving inside. Floater is up and good. He's looked a lot more comfortable here in this third quarter.
Tough shot in the lane. He had penetration. Saw the big guy coming over.
Ball poked out by McDaniel. McDaniel will collect it, and for the first time since 0-0, we've got a tie basketball game. Less than a minute remaining in this third quarter. McDaniel with a nice defense, rewarded with a bucket. Miller for 3. Big time response from the senior.
Big shot by Donovan Miller. Again, his strength more taking the charge and knocking down the jumper. He came through for Coach Jones that time.
Keels and Timberlake. About 8 seconds different between game clock and shot clock. 50-47. Dematha on top of Paul VI. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Ball tipped away. Jensen able to collect it. Now it's Page. They're going to have to get the ball up quickly, and Roach will. Able to finish with the layup. 50-49. Move inside. Dickinson was there for the tip-in. What are they going to call?
Wow.
They're calling a charge.
Timberlake got all the way to the rim, got it up on the board. Referee in front of Coach Jones called a late charge. 1.3 to go. Dematha up 1. PVI ball on the baseline.
1.3 seconds remaining. Keels hurls it up at the basket. Just short. The entertainment continues. Dematha, Paul VI, 50-49 on Monumental Sports Network's High School Basketball Showcase, powered by WGL and live on Ball is Life. Holy moly, Neil, we have seen an outstanding game so far between these two teams. Let's start with that Paul VI run at the end of the third quarter. Sometimes it's just a flagrant foul that gets the momentum going for a team.
Even before that, Paul VI defense was that much tougher in the third quarter. Early on, Dematha's making threes. Dematha's getting the ball to Hunter Dickinson. Now in the third quarter, they can't run their offense. The big guys who are scoring, they don't have the ball, they can't score. A lot of turnovers the open floor, and then that creates Paul VI offense. They're off to the races. And in the open floor, Paul VI is as good as anybody in the country.
You saw a couple of plays, most notably on the basket that tied the game at 47 apiece from Doug McDaniel. He's so quick and has such good hands, able to pop the basketball out from every angle. He's really had a great game here today.
And that's why these games are so good. Both teams are going to learn.
Still the end of January. A lot of basketball to be played for both teams. And the upcoming schedule in the WCAC, it's not like it gets any easier for either of these teams. Dematha has one more game against Paul VI, one more game against Gonzaga, and one more game against St. John's. All of those games will be available on Monumental Sports Network. As for Paul VI, well, not only do they play Dematha again, they also have games against St. John's and Gonzaga. 2 of those 3 games they have remaining on that notable list will be on Monumental Sports Network as well. For now, we got to focus on the game at hand. Fourth quarter action. Nice move from Roach. Drives inside. And it's a lead for the Paul VI Panthers.
Just too easy for Paul VI. They spread the floor. He got the one-on-one. Unstoppable.
So after 5 points in the first half, Roach now up to 8 points in the second half, 13 for the game. Timberlake trying to find Dickinson in time. Finally does inside, and that's a nice move in the post from him.
Nice finish inside. Good feed by Timberlake to his buddy.
Nearly a travel for Roach, able to get the ball out to Keels. Keels off the glass, no good. Timberlake will push the pace now. And he goes all the way to the bucket, coast to coast.
Even there, though, you can see Timberlake concerned about the pokes from behind. Paul VI at times seems to have 6 players on the floor.
And foul on the floor. Will Page was driving. And near the end of that third quarter, a number of fouls from Dematha. They're now up to 5 fouls in the second half. So foul trouble is something to keep an eye on as we progress through this quarter. Dickinson with the steal, and it's going to go off of him, and it'll be Panthers basketball. And Donovan Miller has had to hold back Dickinson a few times in this half.
And for Donovan Miller, a different form of good defense there. Now, keeping your big guy, you want to keep him on the floor away. Coach Jones thought maybe the referee had a bad angle on that call. I think he was conveying that opinion.
As we said earlier, it's never easy to defend a big man. Big size advantage. So Roach, crossover dribble, trying to find someone down low. Somehow split the double team, unable to finish though. Timberlake now will be double teamed, able to get the ball out. Miller thought about the 3, instead goes for the extra pass, off the rim, no good.
Good movement by Dematha, swung the ball around. Will Reynolds had a nice open shot, just didn't knock it down.
Keels, one-on-one, long 2, falls short. Miller will collect it. So Timberlake, Dickinson, Miller, Hutchinson, and Reynolds on the floor for Dematha. The third three-pointer of the game for Hunter Dickinson falls. He's playing to the crowd, and the crowd is loving it. A 6-point lead for the Stags.
I think Coach Jones has made a decision because of the pressure Paul VI is putting on their guards, and Elijah Hawkins and Jacoy Hudson having a tough time. The senior, Earl Timberlake, he's in charge the rest of the game. You know, that's going to take away some offense, but it will allow the big guy, Hunter Dickinson, to get some touches.
And he did not score in that third quarter, and he got into a little bit of foul trouble. How big are baskets like his easy turnaround post move and a three-pointer at the top of the key for his confidence as he moves forward in this game?
Well, Dematha is struggling for points now, so Coach Jones would take points from anywhere. But certainly getting him inside tends to break the other team's back. You know, three-pointers are great, you know, but if he catches it down inside, it should be a basket or a foul.
So it's a 7-0 run from Dematha after getting their first lead at 51-50.
Now on the other side of the coin, Coach Earl, he's allowed to coach his team too. So I'm thinking he's in there saying, all right, Earl's kind of big and strong. We're not going to have the success we had with some of their other guards. I would look to see a second Paul VI player come to Timberlake, try to get the ball out of his hands. Right? Certainly the 2 guys you don't want to touch, it's it. Hunter Dickinson and Earl Timberlake. Let's see if the other guys can step up here in a league game under 6 minutes to go. The lights are going to get a little bright in here for some players.
And outside of Jordan Hawkins, not too many contributions from the rest of the Stags in the second half. We saw some nice early play from Elijah Hawkins and Will Reynolds. McDaniel guarded by Miller. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Swings it to Keels, now in the corner. Back out to McDaniel. Wild mid-range jumper is no good. Rebound collected, though, by Coleman, number 20. Keels for the deep three-pointer. That one is no good, and the rebound is collected by Dematha. So second chance opportunity doesn't go for the Panthers. And the Stags now a chance to extend this lead. Timberlake, guarded by Roach, drives inside, feeds it to Dickinson. He falls short of the hoop. Rebound collected by Coleman.
Good shot, just kind of babied a little bit.
Keels dishes it out, wide open three for Roach, and he follows through and connects.
Great look by Trevor Keels. Drove to the basket as expected, drew a committee of Dematha players, found his buddy on the three-point line. Big bucket for Paul VI.
16 points for Jeremy Roach, 3-point lead for the Stags. And it's been back and forth and close for the majority of this ball game. Miller thinks about the three, pump fake, mid-range jump shot, falls short. Dickinson with the offensive rebound. Fresh shot clock, Dickinson turnaround, can't get it to go. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Donovan Miller, good look inside to Hunter Dickinson. Didn't quite have his legs underneath him to put it in, but he'll go to the line for two.
Now, Donovan Miller started the season in the starting lineup for the Stags. He played the majority of this season in the starting lineup. Could end up back there at some point, but for now, over the last 5 or 6 games, he's come off the bench. For him to come out and have this kind of performance in this game against a great opponent like Paul VI, what does that say about his mental fortitude as a senior on this team?
You got to be ready. You know, you're going to get tapped on the shoulder. You got to be ready to step up and make plays, whether you're on the floor to start or on the bench. And that's what a senior can give you, because everything's not life and death. You've played a lot of games, whatever the team needs.
So Dickinson unable to follow through on his free throw attempt. Feed inside, nice from Roach.
Great job by Roach. He's so good at curling off screens, caught the ball in the lane, drew the help, dropped it off.
57-56 now. Timberlake to Dickinson on the wing. Another three-point shot is up. That one is no good, collected by Roach. A chance to take the lead here. Drives inside, right at Dickinson, then dishes to McDaniel. He goes right up at Miller, and he's fouled on the way up.
Tough move by McDaniel, got in the lane, drew the contact. Paul VI doing a good job down here at the other end, making some of Dematha's other guys shoot the ball. They're good shots, but it's not the same as Timberlake and Jordan Hawkins and Hunter shooting.
Dickinson. First free throw is good for McDaniel. And you said it to start this fourth quarter, Neil. Dematha has some really good players, and they played 12 deep throughout the season. But it's moments like these, under 4 minutes remaining in a big conference game at home, you start to see who can make the bigger plays when they need to. And so far, it seems like Paul VI has been able to call them on their bluff. Second free throw no good, so remain a tie ball game. McDaniel goes 1 for 2 at the line there. Timberlake guarded by Roach. We'll get it over to Hawkins. Feed inside, double teamed, and McDaniel nearly got the steal, and then Page did get the steal in transition. Roach unable to maintain possession. And that's tough. Roach had a wide open basket.
Roach on the breakout, just couldn't handle the ball. He might have been thinking about how he was going to score.
You wonder if he was thinking dunk and knew he couldn't get his feet under him, and all of a sudden, basketball went out of bounds.
Dematha crowd was yelling overrated at Roach. I'm not sure they're watching the same game I'm watching.
I'm also not sure they've seen him play over his 4 years at Paul VI. One of the best players not only in the area but in the country. Again, selected the 2020 McDonald's All-American game. Paul VI in transition. Roach another chance. This one blocked. McDaniel on the follow. Can't get it to go. Keels collects the rebound and gets fouled on the way up. And I believe they're going to call it on Timberlake. They are. And that's the 7th team foul on Dematha. So we're looking at a 1-and-1 situation for the Panthers moving forward. And the one thing you have seen, Neil, from both teams is oftentimes your best players that make the highlight plays. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, that's when you really need them. And down low, you saw the three best players as Keels misses his first free throw. Keels, Roach, and McDaniel all fighting for the rebound. On the other end, you see Timberlake and you see Dickinson fighting for the rebound. They're getting it down in the trenches as well.
Right. If I'm Coach Jones, I look at this film tomorrow, and I wonder where all my gray shirts were. Not everybody was in the frame. And that's that extra effort of getting in there. Even if you're not getting the rebound, you're getting a body on someone to keep one of the PVI guys away.
1 for 2 trip at the line for Keels. And
I think our referee has heard enough from one of the fans in the stands.
And so they'll leave their seat, and the teams will have a chance to huddle up, and a good time for both teams to huddle up. 2:50 remaining in regulation. It's Paul VI that now has a 1-point lead. Dematha has led for the majority of this ball game here at home in a wonderful matchup, perhaps one of the better high school matchups of the season in the country. And we're lucky enough to have it available for you here on Monumental Sports Network and Ball is Life.
The first of many great matchups.
Absolutely. Timberlake guarded by Roach yet again. They're going to call a travel. And so another turnover for Dematha. Turnovers have been a real issue, and it's what's left the door open for the Panthers to get back in the ballgame.
And if I'm Coach Jones, I'm a little bit worried that Dematha's feeling they're not getting a call. You can see that kind of sense of doubt, like, hey, I got to play against all these guys. There's some tough calls. We got to play through it, and that's where your seniors have to step up.
McDaniel feeds it to Keels. McDaniel will get it back. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Mid-range jump shot. Rattles out. Dickinson collects it. Number 3, Hawkins, guarded by number 1, Roach. Number 24, Hawkins. Now gets it to Timberlake to Dickinson. Back out, and that pass is into the seats. So some nice ball movement turns into an errant pass, and it's another turnover.
Good look, bad pass. Made the right decision, felt the pressure, rushed it a little bit, threw it into the stands.
Timeout called by Glenn Farello and Paul VI. And Dematha will have a chance to talk it over. A reminder, you are watching the game on Monumental Sports Network. Subscribe now at getmonumental.com. You can watch some of the best high school basketball games in the area, and there are a lot of them coming up. Let's just focus on the WCAC for a second here, Neil. Dematha, Paul VI, they've got one more game after this on February 16th. You can see that right here on Monumental Sports Network. Dematha also has another game against Gonzaga and another game against St. John's on February 7th and February 11th. Those games will be available on Monumental Sports Network. And you know what? Let's sprinkle one more in there. Paul VI against St. John's on January 30th. That's right around the corner. And, you know, this St. John's team, there's a lot of discussion about Dematha, Paul VI, rightfully so, Gonzaga, a highly ranked team entering the season. But St. John's, what they've been able to do this year so far, some really good victories in December in tournament play that they've had. I think they've been the pleasant surprise of the season in the WCAC so far.
Well, those are the 4. They're right there. It depends on who's having a good night. But the league is so good. Also, some of the teams that say in the other half, they've had big wins against. Carroll High School was able to beat St. John's. McNamara went over beat Paul VI at Paul VI. Gonzaga lost to Good Counsel up in Olney, Maryland. It's just a great league.
O'Connell also with their big victory over Mater Dei at the Hoop Hall Classic. It's any night. McDaniel, drive, kick, corner 3, no good. Rebound brought down by Hawkins. Now it's Stags of transition. Transition three-pointer rattles in and out, and the follow attempt is in. I believe they're going to credit it to Hawkins. Timeout called by Dematha. And now they have a 1-point lead.
Early 3 in transition. You know, maybe not the best shot, but again, Dematha's struggling to get shots. But you get a good shot, you also get good coverage on the board. Hawkins with the effort play was able to get the tip, knocked it down.
And both teams so athletic, but Neil, the length on Dematha. There's so much discussion about Timberlake and Dickinson, but you saw the length of Jordan Hawkins on that last rebound. He must have gotten about a foot over the rim on the recovery and able to put Dematha back up top.
He's got, as they say, fresh legs. Fresh legs. The game up at Hoop Hall, he ended with kind of a windmill thing. I think Dematha was up like 5, and they got a breakout right as the buzzer went off, and he put on a little bit of a show.
That win coming against Rancho Christian up at the Spalding Hoop Hall Classic. 1:42 remaining. Coach Neil, let's get your perspective here. Right now we're taking a look at both huddles. Let's start with Dematha. You've just gone up by 1, 1:42 remaining. What do you tell your team to close out this game?
I think the big decision is who's bringing up the ball. We've struggled with it. Do I put the ball in the hand of my senior, which really makes him a non-scorer, or do I put it in the hand of my junior, Elijah Hawkins, and see if we get Earl maybe a touch around the basket?
As for Paul VI, what do you do if you're in Jeremy Roach's shoes right here?
I keep doing what I'm doing. All right, we swing the ball around the perimeter. We wait till one of my guys.
A double
one
dribble.
One of my guys has a one-on-one, because one-on-one, Roach, Keels, these guys, McDaniel, unstoppable.
So a turnover from Paul VI, and Dematha now with a chance to extend their lead. Timberlake guarded tightly by Keels, tries to get something, can't find anything. 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. They're going to feed it to Dickinson. Cross-court pass. Three-pointer is up for Ward. Rattles in and out. Ball tipped out of bounds. They're going to say off Paul VI.
Good look by Dematha. They got Tyrell Ward. He knocked down a few threes in the first half. That one just rattles out.
Dickinson throws the ball at the hoop. No foul, no bucket. And now McDaniel in transition. Through the contact. And the Panthers are back up top.
Tough move by McDaniel. He's having a heck of a night.
20 points tonight for Doug McDaniel. Cross-court pass. This time it's Hawkins for 3! He hits it! Oh my! Jordan Hawkins has played excellent in this second half. His third 3 of the second half.
I think he's getting comfortable.
Less than 30 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Feed down low. Freeman can't get the bucket. Dickinson brings down the rebound, and he's fouled. This crowd is getting loud.
Should be the 6th foul, be possession for Dematha.
What a series of events. Dickinson couldn't get the dunk on one end. In transition, it's McDaniel that gives Paul VI the lead. And then Jordan Hawkins, the junior, with a big-time 3 to put the Stags up 2. Timeout called before the inbounds play by Mike Jones in his 17th year guiding these Stags. Wow, this has been a good ball game.
They're getting their money's worth. Great game. 2-point game, Dematha ball on the baseline, and all through the past couple of days at the events for Coach Wooten, everyone said the same thing. It's all about the fundamentals. What's more fundamental than when you have the ball, being able to inbound it? And that's what Dematha has to do. Without pushing off, being a good receiver. Of course, Paul VI with their quickness, they're going to do everything to deny the pass. But can we get the ball in bounds? Did we work hard enough during the week on our inbounds plays?
A banner that you see at the top of your screen, it says for Morgan. Of course, the last week, a whole range of emotions in the community over the passing of legendary coach Morgan Wooten. Over 1,200 wins, 5 national titles, and a personal impact on a number of people. As Dematha's fouled and will go to the free throw line here.
Morgan was simply the best. I was lucky to be with him for 17 years as a coach, and our friendship obviously went on after that, and what a treasure.
John Wooden once said, "I know of no finer coach at any level, high school, college, or pro. I stand in awe of him." Red Auerbach, one of the greatest coaches in NBA history, says, "He's the best judge of people I ever met, even better than me." These are some of the greatest coaches in the history of basketball. giving praise to Morgan Wooten, and well-deserved if you ever had a chance to meet the legend. Hawkins, fresh off hitting a big-time three, will now shoot the 1-and-1. First free throw is no good. Rebound collected by Paul VI. 18 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Ball in the hands of Keels. We've seen some dramatic finishes for Paul VI this season. Could we add another one? Keels, wild pass, finds McDaniel. 4 seconds left. They're going to have to get a shot soon. Turnaround jumper blocked by Dickinson. And that'll do it. The Stags survive, and that's your Mountain Dew Kickstart play of the game. The Michigan commit, Hunter Dickinson, with the big-time block at the top of the key, ices the game for the Stags in a top 10 showdown. Your final score, Dematha Catholic 62, Paul VI 60, and an absolute classic. Whew, I got to take a deep breath. Unbelievable performance today.
I'm sure I said at the beginning of the broadcast, this is what I miss. The adrenaline flowing in a game like this. Packed house. The way this gym is built, there were probably 300 people standing around the track-like structure on top of the stands. What a game. Two great teams going at it. Two great coaches, class programs, playing hard. You know, no extracurriculars there. What a great game, great league.
17 points for Jordan Hawkins, 17 points for Hunter Dickinson in the winning effort. On the other side, 20 points for Doug McDaniel, 16 for Jeremy Roach, 13 for Trevor Keels. The Stars showed out in a big-time win for Dematha Catholic. 14 wins in a row. They moved to 18-2 on the season. Paul VI will drop to 10-2 in conference play, 16-5 overall. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching the High School Basketball Showcase on Monumental Sports Network, powered by WGL, and watching on Ball is Life. For Neil Murphy, I'm Dan Nolan. Thank you so much for watching. Final score, once again, Dematha 62, Paul VI 60. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone.